What if, in just one moment, you could change someone's fate forever, and never even know it? Tonight, a single choice in a quiet diner will set off a chain reaction that no one could have predicted. But is honesty really rewarded, or is it just another way to be left behind? This isn't just a story about losing and finding a wallet. It's about the small decisions that echo louder than we ever imagine. And how, sometimes, the greatest turning point comes from the last person you'd expect. It's nearly midnight. The diner is quiet except for the steady tap of rain against the windows. Elena moves slowly, fatigue weighing down every step as she wipes down the last empty table. The scent of old coffee hangs in the air, a stubborn reminder of the long shift behind her. She counts her tips, turning each coin in her hand, already anxious about the next day. Her thoughts are interrupted as she glances at the corner booth, the one by the window, the one that always leaks when it rains. An hour ago a man sat there. Well-dressed, silent, almost out of place. Now the booth is empty. As Elena leans in to clean, something catches her eye, a wallet. Black leather, tucked half hidden between the cushion and table. She picks it up. Feels heavy. She opens it, her breath catches. Crisp $100 bills. More money than she's seen in a month. A platinum card. A license, Ethan Blake. There's no photo, no note, only the quiet weight of what this could mean. For a moment, the world narrows. Her fingers hover over the bills. Just one would cover her mother's medicine. Two could keep the landlord quiet for another month. All of it, she can't even dare to dream. But then, in the hush of the empty diner, her mother's voice echoes in her mind. Never lose who you are. Elena's fingers tremble over the wallet. Will she give in to temptation or hold on to her honesty? Sometimes, the right thing feels like the hardest choice. Elena stands still for a heartbeat, the wallet heavy in her hands. The world outside is nothing but rain and distant headlights, but inside, the real storm is her own decision. Without a word, she walks to the tiny office at the back. Her manager looks up from his paperwork. Elena holds out the wallet. He raises an eyebrow, his gaze flickering between the cash and her tired face. Are you sure about this? That's more than a month's pay, kid. She nods, steady and certain. Doing the right thing is never wrong. He studies her for a moment, then sighs. I'll send it to the address on the license. Elena forces a smile, though her insides twist with a mix of relief and what-ifs. She changes into her old jacket, steps out into the pouring rain, and starts the long walk home. Shoes soaked, wallet empty, but her conscience is clean. At home the apartment is dim. Her mother is curled under a thin blanket, breathing soft and slow. Elena checks the medicine drawer, only one pill left. She boils water, makes tea and sits in the half-light, her thoughts drifting back to the man in the diner. Did he realize what he'd lost? Did he know someone honest found it? Elena has no idea that her small act of goodness is already echoing far beyond this night. The wallet's owner isn't just anyone, he's the city's most powerful CEO. And his life is about to intertwine with Elena's in ways she can't imagine. Sometimes what you lose finds you in unexpected ways. Across the city, high above the crowded streets, Ethan Blake sits alone in his silent office. The city lights stretch out beyond the glass, brilliant, endless, but cold. He rubs his temples, exhaustion settled deep in his bones. A quiet knock breaks the stillness. His driver enters, holding out a familiar object. Sir, this came in the mail. From a place called Millstone Diner. Ethan takes the wallet, surprised. He flips it open, every bill and card still in place. But tucked behind his license is a small note, handwritten in blue ink. Found this at your table. Hope it gets back to you. Elena. He reads the note once. Then again. A simple message, but it tugs at something in him that's been silent for a long time. He tries to remember her, the waitress with gentle eyes and a quiet smile. The only person that night who spoke to him without fear or formality. Ethan can't stop thinking about her. Will he reach out or let this moment pass like all the others? Can a stranger change the course of your story? The following evening, the rain has eased, but the diner feels just as quiet. The bell above the door rings and Ethan steps inside. This time he's left the expensive suit behind. Plain jacket, no watch, just another tired face in the night. He chooses the same corner booth. Elena spots him from across the room, just a flicker of recognition, followed by a small, genuine smile. She approaches with a coffee pot. Coffee? He nods. She pours, setting the cup down gently. You're the man who lost the wallet, right? He meets her eyes for the first time. I am. Did you get it back? Thanks to you. A gentle silence settles between them. In that quiet, there's understanding, A thank you that doesn't need words. For a moment, they're just two people in a late-night diner, sharing something unspoken. Elena still doesn't know who Ethan really is, or what's about to unfold. Ethan decides to find out everything about Elena, and to help her, secretly from behind the scenes. What if your dreams were just one decision away? Night blends into night. Ethan becomes a familiar figure at the diner, always in the same booth, always quietly watching the world go by. Elena, too, grows comfortable, her smile a little warmer, her steps a little lighter each evening he visits. Between refills and brief pauses, their conversations deepen. Sometimes it's about the weather or a book she's read, but one evening Ethan's question hangs in the air. If you weren't here, where would you be? Elena's eyes drift for a moment, lost in thought. I was 2 semesters into finance, she says softly. But when Mom got sick, everything stopped. Dreams take a back seat when life needs you somewhere else. Ethan listens, feeling the weight behind her words. He knows that sacrifice, the cost of putting your future on hold for someone you love. Elena doesn't know yet. Ethan holds the power to open doors she's closed on herself. What happens when life pushes you to the edge? One evening, Elena rushes into the diner, hair damp, breath short. Her hands shake as she ties her apron, trying to hide the worry in her eyes. Ethan notices, his usual greeting replaced with quiet concern. She tries to act normal, but he can see she's struggling. Finally, she lets the truth slip. Mom's worse. They wouldn't admit her at the hospital without payment. I didn't know what to do. Ethan listens in silence. No questions, no advice, just a soft nod of understanding. That night, while Elena works her shift, Ethan makes a call. Quietly, discreetly, he arranges for the hospital bill to be paid. No names, no messages. Just a silent act of help, given and forgotten. A few days later, Elena learns, someone has covered her mother's bill. But who? For the first time, hope returns to Elena's life. But the help is coming from a secret place, and the giver is watching her, unseen. Are we ever ready for the opportunities we deserve? A few nights later, the diner is quieter than usual. The late shift drags on, but something feels different. As Elena clears the counter, Ethan approaches her booth, his eyes calm, his voice gentle. He slides an envelope across the table toward her. Inside, Elena finds a letter and a brochure, an offer for a full scholarship to study finance online, complete with mentorship and support. The words blur for a moment as she tries to take it in. Her hands tremble. Why me? Ethan's reply is simple but heartfelt. You did something good for a stranger. Let someone do something good for you. She looks at him, searching for the catch, but finds only sincerity. Elena's life is about to change forever. But new challenges are already waiting. New beginnings don't come without new fears. Days turn into weeks. Elena now lives 2 lives, serving tables at the diner and tackling finance assignments late into the night. Every hour is a struggle. Sometimes exhaustion creeps in, but she pushes through, fueled by hope she thought she'd lost. Ethan stays in the background, offering advice when she asks, but never stepping over her independence. Quiet encouragement, silent faith. Then, out of nowhere, Elena receives an official email. She's been invited to interview for an internship at Blake Corporation. Her manager reads the letter, jaw-dropping. What are you doing right, kid? Elena laughs, but inside nerves twist. She knows this is more than an interview. It's the start of something bigger than she's ever dared to dream. Elena stands at the threshold of a new world. But an old connection is about to test her in ways she never expected. On her interview panel is Ethan's Ugter, a woman with her own doubts and her own reason to challenge Elena. When everything's on the line, what do you choose, truth or survival? Elena arrives at Blake Corp, nerves jangling beneath her carefully pressed clothes. The waiting room feels colder, the stakes higher. Finally, she's called in. Across the table sits a panel of executives, and at the center, Ethan's daughter. Her gaze is sharp, her questions sharper. The interview is intense. After a string of technical queries, Ethan's daughter leans forward, locking eyes with Elena. Does honesty really get you through life, or does reality demand compromise? Elena takes a breath, heart pounding, but her voice is steady. Both matter. But I'd never trade my truth for a shortcut. Not ever. There's a pause. For a moment, the room is silent, everyone waiting for what comes next. Will Elena's honesty win her a place, or cost her everything she's worked for? One act of kindness can ripple through 1,000 lives. Months pass. Elena grows into her new life at Blake Corp, rising through every challenge, building a reputation for her integrity and hard work. She's not just surviving, she's thriving. At the company's annual gala, the hall glows with lights and quiet excitement. Ethan steps up for his farewell speech, voice steady, eyes searching the room. "A waitress reminded me that character still matters," he tells the crowd. "That kindness can be power." A hush falls. Applause rises. Elena, sitting in the back, feels a wave of pride and gratitude. Later that night, as she walks home beneath the city lights, Elena spots a young man on the sidewalk, searching his pockets, panic on his face. On a nearby bench, she sees a worn wallet. She picks it up and hands it to him with a gentle smile. Sometimes losing something brings you right where you need to be. Elena's story is just one of millions. Whose life will the next act of honesty change?